Hi guys, and welcome to the Games Hard PS Plus Roundup for February. Today it's myself, Ollie, and Rich.
Hello.
And Tom.
Hello.
And so let's get going. On PS3, kicking off with Metro Last Light. Is it Last Light?
Yeah.
It is Last Light.
Yeah.
Just need to get that in.
Yeah. sequel to Metro 2033, adaptation of the book. Haven't played the first one, to be honest, but immediately you don't actually need to. Immediately they throw you in a cutscene which just explains everything anyway. Basically set in a post-apocalyptic Russia where everyone lives underground in the metros and the surface is completely uninhabitable. It's pretty good.
It's a really good fun game. Really, I love the dynamics of it. So it's not like constant action like Call of Duty or something like that, where you just go around the corner. It's so generic and everything like that. It's really like dynamic. So there'll be points where you're just exploring, you're just working your way through these almost pitch black tunnels and stuff. At some points, it gets quite creepy. And then you have points where you basically run into enemies and they don't instantly know where you are. There's actually a real mechanic of how you've got to stay in the shadows, and you can actually purposely turn out lights and stuff like that.
It reminded me a lot of Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
Literally turning out the lights so that it's darkness and then stalking enemies.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I like the
really
fact that you don't have to kill anyone.
No.
I mean, you have to kill the mutants, but in terms of the humans, because there's different factions, there's Nazis, there's just nicer Russians and stuff. There's lots of different factions you work through, and you can go through the entire game without killing anyone. You can just sort of knock them out from behind or just avoid them.
I must admit, that kind of mechanic in a game is always really welcomed, because it does kind of give you that ability to then choose how you're going to progress through the game. It kind of mirrors Deus Ex. You can play the whole game without killing one person if you want to. So that kind of dynamic in a game is really cool.
But the guns in it are so cool that you want to just shoot everyone anyways. Although I think the ammo is quite sparse.
Yeah,
you have to be quite careful with
the bullets work as a currency as well.
Yeah,
it's a sort of a better form of bullets that you can use in the guns, but then you're shooting your currency away.
That's really clever. I mean, I've not actually played Metro Last Light, so I will be getting this for my PS3. So that is a really cool idea. I think that's awesome.
It's definitely got to be checked out.
I think in a future war kind of situation, I could see that being a thing. Actually, I think that's quite accurate to sort of look at it. But Kev has done a review of this on GamesHud, so if you go onto gameshud.net and have a quick scroll through the archive bit, you'll be able to see Kev's review for Metro Last Light.
Wicked.
And next for PS3, our third favourite game of Generation 7, BioShock Infinite.
Yeah, what a free giveaway. It's awesome.
I did not expect that. I mean, it's been out for a year now, which is quite weird to think about. But it's absolutely amazing.
It's obviously had mixed reviews and stuff, but we all love it here at GamesHud. So
it has
such a great
mixed
deal.
reviews. It's odd. Some people just didn't gel with them. I don't really know why. I mean, in terms of the actual magazines and websites, the sort of critical review, it was overwhelmingly positive praise.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think it got really a bad review anywhere. Some people do bring up some points, maybe it's overhyped by people and things like that. But even then, it's still a 9, 10 out of 10 game, even to their standards.
I've always wondered why people don't enjoy it. I think some people genuinely try and say that it's too clever for its own good, and I don't think it is.
I don't think that at all. No.
I think it's incredibly clever, an incredibly well thought out, well-rounded story with pretty solid, if not probably as solid as you could get first-person shooter controls.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the Tonics thing thrown in as well, and just a fucking gorgeous setting as well. Every BioShock game always seems to bring design to the forefront. Even BioShock 2, which is, for me, is definitely the weaker of the three, but still an amazing game because it had a good story and just the design was phenomenal. But yeah, setting this in a floating city was
it really was spectacular. It's such an epic backdrop for everything.
There's just nothing bad, well, in my opinion anyway, I don't think there's anything bad about this game. The bits that you want to nitpick at, you could nitpick at any game.
It's because it tries to be so ambitious. I think that's the reason why. Is with BioShock, it was really ambitious, and obviously it was really amazing. But with Infinite, there's kind of the story's taken on another level. Like
Yeah.
they've got the twists in there, but they try to take on quite a hefty sort of subject with like quantum physics and things like that. And it does almost like crumble under the weight of its own sort of, I say almost pretentiousness. Like it does almost get to that point where that at times you're watching it and just thinking, really, like is this going to work? And then it does all just come together right at the end.
It just pays off immediately, doesn't it?
It's just about works, but it is like, phenomenal as a result.
It's really difficult to talk about the story as well without actually just giving plot point after plot point away. So, it's really difficult to sit here and try and not talk about the story, because all I want to do is talk about the story. It's just so good. I really just enjoy this game so much. Like, I really can't wait to play through it again. I mean, if you've never played this game or never played a BioShock game, you don't actually need to know the events of the first BioShock game to
it doesn't matter
get
at all.
this game.
No, I'd say every BioShock game is kind of, I mean, 1 and 2 are slightly tied together in the setting, but the story.
If you play 2 without 1, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, I mean, Infinite, doesn't really have any connection to the first one, so the mechanics are very similar. The sort of themes are very similar, but generally speaking, it's a completely standalone story.
The only thing that I really liked were the linking bits in the game when all of a sudden the events of BioShock became apparent. And just, if anything, like playing this one first and then playing the first BioShock again, I think might make the intro to BioShock 1 take on a completely new level, It's see, again, I really want to say something. I want to say,
just don't say it. I think basically, if you haven't played BioShock or BioShock Infinite, something's gone wrong.
Yeah,
so just
massively gone.
So take advantage of the fact that this one's free.
Yeah,
and then buy BioShock on the PlayStation Store or second hand or anywhere.
Or eBay for like £1.
Yeah, it's going to be really cheap no matter where you find it.
Wicked. So I mean, that's 2 awesome giveaways straight away. Obviously,
Definitely.
PlayStation 4 on the 5th of February is getting Outlast, which just looks pap your pants terrifying.
Yeah, I've already seen clips of it, and I don't even know if I will have the nerve to actually play through it all, because I'm a bit of a wuss. But it does look brilliant though, doesn't it? It looks so
such
scary.
a cool idea. I mean, I don't know a huge amount about it, but obviously from what you were saying earlier, Rich, it's like you're in a mental asylum, and most of the game's first person, but with a night vision camera. Yeah,
survival horror basically. So there's no weapons, you can't fight them. You occasionally get in a little scuffle with them, you knock them away, and that'll be it. That's all you've got.
Yeah.
And you just have to outthink them, whatever, and hide or run.
Yeah.
It's going to be feeling so defenseless. I think that's the ultimate thing in horror games, because that's kind of the main thing with horror games, is the fact you felt overwhelmed. Like Dead Space, the main fear of fear there is just the fact that you've got loads of enemies coming at you and you're not going to be able to take them all out before they reach you. There's going to be that horrible moment where you have to run past them and just like, it's so uncomfortable.
It's a panic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the being put in a position of panic and fear, and that game is entirely about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gameplay apart from feeling completely overwhelmed, like you're going to get taken out, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't wait. I think that's going to be a really, really crazy experience. So, we've said this before about trying to film ourselves doing a playthrough. So I think we should at least film the first 10 minutes of Outlast with ourselves, just to see what happens. Go into it totally blind.
I'm really hoping they lift the HDCP. So we can actually do that soon.
Do it.
Well, as soon as they do, we will do that. We will do a video of us just crapping ourselves,
which would be fun.
and leaving, before we forget, leaving PlayStation Plus on PS4 is Resogun.
Yes,
which you cannot miss.
Cannot be missed.
Yeah, definitely. Like, start downloading that immediately, if not sooner, just so that it's there. Because when that's gone, you're gonna badly want it.
Yeah, and if you're watching this past, then go buy it now.
Yeah, just pay the money for it.
It's worth it.
It's addictive. And then PS Vita gets Dynasty Warriors Next, which is an odd name. I kind of like the Dynasty Warriors. Dynasty,
maybe. Who knows?
Well, just that game.
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Nasty.
I kind of like it. It's just mindless button mashing. But I think I've only played Dynasty Warriors 7, and I played 99 Nights, which I know isn't Tecmo, but it's basically
that kind
it's
of
basically the same
style.
game.
Yeah.
And I think there's still a place for this kind of game, and it's maybe on Vita I'll actually give it a bit more attention, because it's the kind of thing. I mean, just looking at the screenshot there, I don't know. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that kind of mindless. Smash the shit out
It's an
of
acquired taste, but obviously they're successful enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't have like 20 billion installments in the franchise. So
yeah.
it must be doing something right if you like that sort of sort of title.
And it's I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Zelda as well. We'll have to see what happens with that. It could be really good. I still think it could be very, very good, as long as Nintendo have a lot of say in it. But we'll cover that in another thing. And the other one on PlayStation Vita is ModNation Racers Road Trip. And I have never played a ModNation Racer game.
I have played the PS3 PS3 ModNation Racers. It's alright.
Yeah, seems kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a little
Mario Kart-esque.
It's a Mario Kart wannabe game.
Little Big Planet kart racing, but better.
Yeah, it's better than Little Big Planet karting, but it's still too sort of clumsy and clunky to really be that great. Like turning around the corners is a bit sluggish.
Right.
It doesn't have the sort of, I don't know, the relaxed sort of nature of Mario Kart.
Right.
Like everything's very quick and fast, but everything's very controllable, and it feels very natural, and it's a bit too clumsy, and yeah, it hasn't quite got the magic behind it.
Right.
It doesn't have the magic behind it really. But that's not to say that ModNation Racers isn't great. It might be an absolutely fantastic Vita game.
Yeah,
It might translate a lot better into that.
Yeah, the Vita does seem to have this thing going for it, doesn't it? Where you kind of play it on the PS3 and you kind of go, this is okay, and then you play it on a Vita and all of a sudden it seems to take on a mind of its own, where it kind of for some reason just seems to work.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of Wipeout. They've always been good games.
Yeah,
but for me, my favourite Wipeout, I think, is Wipeout 2048 on the Vita. For some reason,
I'm much more enjoying it. I'm not sure that's really a sentence. I'm enjoying it a lot more on the Vita than when I played it on the PS3. I played through the entire game and then just sort of went.
It's Fusion, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like
okay.
it was the expansion pack to the Vita game that they just released on PS3.
Yeah,
and it just didn't. It was okay, but the whole time I just felt like it was just this soulless clone of F-Zero that didn't do the speed as well, didn't do the character as well, and didn't do the tracks as well. And I just sort of felt like it's very by the numbers, very average. And it's not, to be honest, it's not a huge difference on Vita, but it does suit the platform a lot better. So you find yourself going, "Oh, just do one more race, one more race," and it's genuinely quite fun. But if you've got a console and you're playing it on a big TV, you sort of feel it feels a bit laboured having to play it.
Yeah. So maybe that's what ModNation Racers will have then. Maybe this is the way to
It
give
does
it
have
a blast.
500,000 tracks available online for the user community.
Wow.
So.
And it's free.
Yeah, you can't really complain.
Yeah.
Lots of content, and it's free.
Yeah, so I might have to give that a bash myself.
Yeah.
Wicked. So there we go. I think that's a pretty good month of games.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Very, very good. Definitely on par with last month. I mean, last month had some stonkers in it, but this month, I mean, immediately BioShock Infinite and Outlast are just that's selling it for me straight away.
Done $5.99, not bad for your month.
Yeah, definitely. So there we go. So that's what you're going to get if you're a PS Plus member. If you're not a PS Plus member, go sort it out and get some free stuff. You can catch us on all the normal social networks. We've got facebook.com/GamesHud, twitter.com/GamesHud, youtube.com/GamesHud, and if you click the subscribe button on that, you can keep up to date with all our videos. We're on Pinterest. And
we're trying out Twitch at the moment as well.
Oh yeah.
So twitch.com/.tv/GamesHud.
Yeah.
And I'm actually trying to play through Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and I'm just basically whenever I go to play it, I broadcast. So
definitely keep an eye on our Twitter account, and you can find out when Rich is going to be taking the lovely Lara out for her adventures. And obviously, don't forget to check out the main site, gameshud.net. So thanks very much for watching.